Welcome, everyone, to the Leor Super Fun Learning Hour.
Great to be back.
This is our 7th deep dive in our ongoing seminar series exploring the Oedipal triangle.
And today we're shifting focus a bit, moving into some really fascinating territory.
We are. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
We're tackling Donald Winnicott's hugely influential paper from 1951, Transitional Objects and Transitional Phenomena.
Like classic. And one that still resonates so much today.
Absolutely. And our mission here, it goes beyond just asking why a toddler might get attached to, a specific blanket or teddy bear. We really want to get under the skin of the profound psychological significance Winnicott saw in these everyday objects.
Yeah, it might really change how you see childhood attachments, even maybe reflect on your own.
Infinitely.
What's so interesting is that Winnicott wasn't describing something new in terms of observation. I mean, parents, pediatricians, they'd seen this intense attachment for ages.
Right, the phenomenon was well known.
Exactly. But Winnicott offered this really revolutionary reevaluation. He connected this common behavior, a child loving a grubby bit of blanket, to the absolute foundations of how the self develops.
Wow. So he gave us a new way to map that early psychological journey.
In essence, yes, a whole new perspective.
So the big question then is, how does this ordinary object, this toy or blanket, become this kind of magic bridge? Linking the child's inner private world with the external reality out there. And why do we invest so much emotion, intense feeling, into something that isn't even alive?
That's the core of it. And Winnicott gives us some compelling answers.
Okay, let's start where Winnicott did, with that familiar scene. Forever, people have noticed how kids form these incredibly intense bonds with specific things. We all know them. That blanket that's practically falling apart, the doll that's missing an eye, the teddy bear dragged everywhere.
The ones that smell a certain way have a particular texture.
Exactly. And they're not just any toy. Often they feel utterly irreplaceable to the child.
Precisely. And that's key. These aren't just, playthings. They function as really profound sources of comfort.
Comfort, warmth.
Security, a sort of constant, unwavering presence in a world that's always changing for a little one.
They take them to bed, hug them like their life depends on it.
And these objects seem to just absorb everything, right? The child's biggest feelings, their fears, their joys, like a silent, furry confidant.
Yeah, like a sponge for emotions. So everyone saw this happening, but what did it mean? That was the puzzle, wasn't it?
It was. It was clearly more than just, say, a fetish or a simple substitute for mom or dad being there.
Right. It felt deeper. So what was this connection telling us about how a child's mind develops? How did Winnicott start to, clarify that?
Okay, so this is where Winnicott introduces his really central idea, the intermediate area of experience. He sometimes called it the transitional space.
Okay, intermediate area, transitional space.
Yeah. Think of it as this crucial psychological realm, this zone that exists between the baby, purely subjectively, and the primary caregiver, usually the mother, as part of objective reality.
So it's not just inside the baby's head, but it's not just out there in the world either.
Exactly. It's neither purely internal psychic reality nor purely external objective reality. It's a bridge. A unique territory where psychological development happens.
A bridge. I like that.
And this space, this transitional zone, is absolutely vital for helping the individual manage change. Especially that huge shift from the baby's earliest state, which is very self-focused, almost autoerotic,
Right.
towards being able to form relationships with external objects and eventually with people who are recognized as separate beings.
So it's a necessary step on the path to recognizing otherness, to realizing the world isn't just an extension of yourself.
Precisely. It's the pathway to engaging with a shared external world.
It almost sounds like a psychological holding environment, like a safe sandbox for the developing mind.
That's a great analogy.
A place where the child can sort of play with their inner feelings and their perceptions of the outside world, but without the full, maybe scary demands of reality just hitting them all at once.
That captures it perfectly.
Yeah.
It is a safe zone for growth. And if you look at the bigger picture, this concept helps us understand that fundamental transition, moving from being an infant who barely distinguishes self from non-self.
Yeah, that sort of merged state.
Exactly. To reaching a point where you can differentiate, relate to objects, and then people as separate entities. It's absolutely foundational for building a coherent sense of self within a shared reality.
Okay, so how does the famous transitional object fit into this transitional space?
Well, to really get the transitional object, Winnicott says we have to look at the very, very early mother-infant relationship. He puts huge emphasis on the mother's extraordinary adaptation to the baby's needs right at the beginning.
That almost perfect attunement.
Yes. She anticipates, she responds almost immediately, creating this environment where the baby's needs feel like they're met the instant they arise.
Which must feel pretty amazing for the baby.
It fosters what Winnicott called the infant's initial sense of omnipotence.
Omnipotence, meaning?
The baby basically believes, or rather experiences, that they create whatever they need, the breast, the warmth, the comfort, just by wishing for it.
Wow. Like magic.
It's a powerful, almost magical feeling, yes.
Yeah.
That their desire directly makes reality happen.
Okay, so the mother's role here is absolutely critical then. She's the one presenting reality, like the actual breast when the baby's hungry, or a cuddle when they're upset. But she does it as if the baby conjured it up themselves, through perfect timing.
Exactly. Her action aligns so perfectly with the baby's emerging need or desire that it allows the infant to experience the world, momentarily, as an extension of their own wishes.
That's fascinating. So this is the illusion he talks about.
Precisely. This is what Winnicott called the moment of illusion. The baby experiences the object, the breast, the comfort, as partly created by them through their omnipotent wish, and partly external, because objectively the mother provided it. This shared illusion, this beautiful overlap between subjective and objective, is fundamental for healthy development.
It's like a necessary shared daydream between mother and baby.
You could put it like that. It allows the baby to gradually accept reality.
So what happens if that adaptation, that attunement, isn't quite there? If the mother, for whatever reason, can't consistently provide that illusion?
Well, Winnicott argued that when that consistent adaptation fails, the child can't form this crucial bridge. They get hit with external reality too soon, too harshly, before they're ready.
Oof.
And that can lead to a real break in their sense of continuity, their feeling of things making sense. It could potentially lead to quite significant developmental difficulties down the line. The illusion isn't a deception, it's a vital developmental stage.
Got it. Okay, so that sets the stage. Now, the object itself, the blanket, the bear, what makes it specifically transitional? Winnicott outlined some key characteristics, didn't he?
He did. Several specific qualities that really distinguish a true transitional object from, say, just a favorite toy.
Okay, let's hear them.
Firstly, the infant assumes absolute rights over this object. It's theirs, exclusively, no arguments.
Right. Hands off my bunny. It's not just my toy, it's like sacred. You can't just take it, replace it, wash it without permission.
Exactly. Secondly, and this is crucial, it's subjected to the child's full range of feelings. It's loved intensely, cuddled, cherished. But it's also hated, bitten, maybe thrown across the room, mutilated even.
Wow, okay.
Yet crucially, it's expected to survive all this, to endure both the instinctual loving and the aggressive impulses without, retaliating or falling apart completely.
That's a powerful idea. It has to contain both love and hate. What's the significance of it needing to survive that aggression without fighting back?
It allows the child a safe space to experience and process their own aggressive feelings without the fear of destroying the loved object or facing destructive retaliation.
So they can learn that love and hate can coexist towards the same thing, or person, eventually.
Precisely. It helps integrate those powerful, seemingly contradictory feelings. It's a safe, non-judgmental container.
Okay, what else?
Thirdly, related to the first point, it is never changed unless the child changes it. Adults can't just swap it for a new one or even wash it sometimes because that alters its fundamental essence, its smell, its feel.
Right, it loses its specialness.
Fourthly, its reality status is unique. It's not a hallucination. It's a real tangible object you can see and touch.
Okay.
But it's also not fully recognized as an external object in the same way an adult understands objectivity. It exists in that special bridge zone.
So for the adult, it's just a blanket. But for the child, it's the blanket plus something more, something infused with their inner state.
You've got it. It embodies something subjective for them while still being objectively real. Fifth, often its texture is key. Softness, like a blanket or teddy bear, seems particularly important, providing that tactile comfort that links back to early sensory experiences of being held.
That makes sense, the feel of it.
Sixth, it's not part of the baby's body, clearly,
Right.
but it's also not experienced as entirely separate. It belongs uniquely to that intermediate area of experience we talked about. It's in a category of its own.
Neither fully me nor fully not me.
Exactly. And finally, number 7. While its intense importance gradually fades as the child matures, develops language, finds other ways to symbolize and cope, it's never completely forgotten. But, importantly, it's not mourned when it's finally given up. Not like you'd mourn a person. It simply loses its charge, its vital significance, because its function has been integrated into the child's developing personality.
So it just sort of recedes naturally. It served its purpose.
Yes, its meaning gets diffused into broader cultural and creative capacities.
Wow. Okay, those characteristics really do set it apart. It's not just any old comforter. It's a specific psychological tool, really. Winnicott called it the first not-me possession, right?
That's right. It's a crucial step in differentiating self from other.
So this space, this intermediate area where the object lives, it's not just for infancy, is it? You mentioned it links to wider things.
Absolutely. This is where Winnicott's theory gets really expansive. That same intermediate area is also the birthplace of play.
Ah, play.
Yes. Play, in Winnicott's view, is fundamentally this activity where inner and outer reality are allowed to merge and overlap creatively. It's where the child can experiment, process feelings, be spontaneous, all within that safe, transitional space.
So the transitional object is like the first actor on that stage of play.
In a way, yes. It's often the child's first concrete step into managing that not-me world, initiating them into shared reality, but on their own terms initially. It shows them they can interact with things that aren't just part of them, and that this interaction can be meaningful and comforting.
Okay, connecting the dots now.
And then, crucially, Winnicott argues this transitional space doesn't just disappear after childhood. It persists throughout life.
How so?
It evolves into our capacity for all forms of cultural experience. Think about creativity, art, religion, imaginative living, even things like scientific hypothesizing.
Wow, really? All of that?
Yes. He saw all these activities as taking place in that same essential space, the intermediate area where we playfully, creatively engage with the world, blending our inner subjective reality with shared external reality to create meaning, symbols, culture.
So wait, this isn't just some niche theory about babies and their security blankets anymore.
Not at all.
Winnicott is saying that our basic human ability to be creative, to appreciate music or art, to have spiritual feelings, to even just play as adults, it all has its roots right back there. In those earliest experiences of illusion, the transitional object, and that safe intermediate space.
That's exactly his argument. It's about how we all manage to connect our unique inner world with the shared outer one. How we bridge that gap between subjective experience and objective reality. It's foundational to, well, living a rich human life.
That's quite profound, actually. It reframes creativity and culture as extensions of early developmental processes.
It really does. And the developmental impact is huge. Successfully navigating this phase using transitional phenomena is crucial for developing a coherent, resilient sense of self.
How does it help build that coherence?
It helps the child move gradually from that initial state of infantile omnipotence, thinking they control everything, towards accepting the limits and demands of external reality, but without it feeling like a crushing defeat or trauma. It's a gentle, buffered introduction to the real world.
A smoother transition. And you mentioned clinical relevance earlier. How does understanding all this help in, say, therapy?
Oh, absolutely. Having a grasp of these concepts gives therapists really valuable insights into certain kinds of psychological difficulties.
Like what, for instance?
Well, issues related to reality testing, for one. The ability to distinguish fantasy from reality, also the capacity for genuine play, for emotional regulation, for symbolization, and generally an individual's ability to engage creatively and meaningfully with life.
So, if someone struggled in this early phase, if that transitional space wasn't securely established or was somehow violated,
then the repercussions can show up later. It might affect their ability to trust, to be spontaneous, to feel real, or to find comfort in cultural or creative pursuits. Understanding the roots can help address those later difficulties.
Fascinating. Okay, so let's try and sum this up. We've taken a deep dive today into Donald Winnicott's landmark ideas on transitional objects and transitional phenomena. And we've seen how something as seemingly simple as a child's favorite blanket or teddy bear can actually be this incredibly powerful symbol and tool for psychological growth.
Yeah, a bridge.
A bridge, exactly, between the inner world of the self and the outer world of reality.
And that intermediate space, that special zone forged in early infancy through that dance of the mother's adaptation and the baby's illusion.
Yeah.
That space becomes a lifelong foundation.
The foundation for play, for creativity.
For our engagement with art, religion, culture, essentially, for all forms of creative living. It's the vital meeting place between our unique subjective experience and the shared reality we all navigate.
So, a final thought for you, our listener, to maybe mull over as you go about your day.
Yeah.
Consider the transitional objects, or perhaps more relevantly for adults, the intermediate spaces you create and inhabit yourself.
Good question.
Think about your hobbies, maybe your deep-seated beliefs, your creative outlets, even just those moments of quiet reflection or daydreaming. How do these things help you navigate the complexities of life?
How do they help you connect your own unique inner world with the broader external one?
Exactly. And maybe reflect on the role that play, imagination, and creativity hold in your own adult life. Winnicott suggests it's far more vital, far more fundamental than we often give it credit for.
Definitely something to think about. It's not just kid stuff.
Not at all. Thanks for joining us on the Lee Orr Super Fun Learning Hour.
Thank you.